There was a savage that beat a black woman to the point that she needed 15 stitches on her face. Now, she was going through a drive-through, and he started hurling out racial slurs at her. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
I remember falling towards the rocks, and even when I was on my knees in the rocks, he kept hitting me.
Carmen Porter doesn't want to show her face because of the 15 stitches on her forehead after the attack outside the restaurant Monday morning.
I'm probably going to have a scar for the rest of my life.
Porter says it all started with a racial slur yelled her way as she pulled out of the drive-thru.
Do I just ignore it, or do I confront him?
But she couldn't let it go.
And asked him, "What did you just say to me?" And he began shouting and saying, "It's called freedom of speech. You heard me."
Porter says more racial slurs followed.
That's when he went off and grabbed the caution sign and started hitting me with it.
The first attack appears to happen at the front door.
My phone is covered in blood, and it didn't process in my mind, get in the car.
The man is then seen dropping the sign as he walks back to the counter where another man grabs their order.
Seeing him walking back to the counter to finish ordering his food, like it was completely okay.
But as he walks back out, the man picks the sign back up, and video shows a second round of blows.
Just the derogatory terms that he was throwing at me with each whack makes me extremely angry.
Eventually, another man pulls the attacker away, and they all got into their car and left.
I have a lot of issues with this story, but we're going to talk about the obvious. Now, this guy was picked up and arrested, and he was charged with assault with a deadly weapon and a hate crime. 2 charges that he's going to be in jail for a long time. But this guy was calling her names, calling her the N-word through the drive-thru. Now, he was doing this mess, and you watch how crazy he was acting. I don't know if he was on some sort of drugs or something, but he was acting very erratic. Now, the problem I have with this, with him doing this, when you as a woman dealing with another man, what were you thinking to get out of the car by yourself as a woman with not anything in your hand, but you're going to go confront this guy? You should not have confronted that guy at all. You should have left him alone. I don't suggest any woman go confront a guy that tells you something. You don't know who this guy is. You don't know if he's looking for trouble. And obviously he was looking for trouble. And he did this to a black woman because he wasn't going to do this to a black dude, because a black dude would have had something for him. And if he did do this to a black dude, he probably had some sort of weapon on him or something, or thinking he had some sort of advantage. You got to be careful when people just messing with you like that if they got something on them. But the thing is, she should have drove away with this situation. I'm not siding with the guy. I'm just saying we have to think smart when we out here like that. Now, if this guy would have ran up on her car, then she'd have ran over him, then, hey, it's self-defense because he's trying to get at her car. But let's talk about this guy. This guy just beat this woman, not once, but twice, and then the friend going to pull him off and he going to run away. What is his problem? What is his hatred for black people? Black people ain't done him nothing. But when you have this hate in this country, and we know that word came from the white supremacists on the plantation, and they got people that want to hate black people and grab every white supremacist word out there and have the hate for us like we done you something. We didn't do you a doggone thing. We ain't the one trying to even evict you out of the country. It's doggone Trump and his people that want you out of the country. But we ain't your enemy. And I tell people that all the time. You're fighting each other, and we not each other's enemy. That crap needs to stop all over the place. Having hate for other groups of people that's not even oppressing you like that. But this fool's going to jail for 20, probably 30 years. And for what? What was his problem? And if his friend was any kind of friend that was standing there with him, he would have stopped him way before he even got to that point. I don't want a friend that's not going to stop me from doing stupid crap. I mean, we got to open our eyes and always be smart, especially when you're dealing with people acting stupid all over this country. Because we have to make the right decisions at all times. It's a time to confront people. Trust me, I'm all for that. And then it's a time that we have to go ahead and walk away. Because as black people, we've heard that word. We call each other that word all the time. So we have to make sure that we're going to confront somebody about that stuff. Make sure we're not at a disadvantage at the time period. Because if she has stitches in her face to the point that she's going to have a scar, I mean, this is bad. It is horrible. What happened to this woman? I mean, this don't make a bit of sense. People all over this country with this racial stuff, man, it gets on my nerves, actually, to constantly report about race. But people in this country are so obsessed with it. That's why we have to destroy the system of white supremacy, because they are the ones that started this race crap. It was nobody else but them. And this is the result of it. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this story, because this mess is horrible. Share the video, like the commentary, subscribe for more news stories.